Ladies and gentlemen, this is Every Film in the Book. This week, we did Dragged Across Concrete, and that's what it felt like while you were watching it. I'm Michael.
I'm Danielle.
I'm Steve.
And we've got a lot to break down for you.
No,
Mostly the emotion.
now, Michael, that's an interesting point. I will follow up with you that, and oh my God.
Hold on, let me... Let me draw from my cigarette. Okay, no.
Okay. I'm glad we can continue because there's a lot about this movie.
There's a lot
about this movie.
No, you need to take more dramatic pauses.
Oh, sorry.
And stare into space because that's most of what this movie was.
Somebody get a sandwich right now. Somebody get
make
it
egg salad and make it sit in a hot car for
and
about
I'm going
12
to
hours.
eat it in front of the microphone for about 8 minutes, and you're going to have to listen to the whole thing.
Okay, the ADR on that, Vince Vaughn was eating a sand sandwich. Like,
what is ADR?
It's like the after audio, like that they'll do like in the studio to like enhance like certain sound effects.
Right, like they'll like
make
their own sound effects.
I understand what it is.
Yeah.
I just didn't know the acronym.
Oh yeah,
Gee
sorry.
whiz.
I don't know it either. I just know it's referred to.
Oh, see. Okay.
It's like I don't know
making stuff
after
up.
digital recording. I don't fucking know.
Just because of that.
I don't know. I went to school for
Listen,
it.
I went to
know.
school. I don't have to know things. Okay, I have a piece of paper that says sometimes I might know something
about one specific
idea.
So
Yes.
just for that, Steve.
Yeah.
When we rob a bank next and you get shot, not burying you.
Wait, do I have to get shot like Michael Jai White, or can I get shot like somebody else where it's like quick and painless? Like
No, the long one.
Oh, God damn it.
They were all terrible.
Yeah, but
This
at least
whole movie
some
was
of them were just
Nobody-
like quick to the head.
Yeah, but nobody died good in this film.
No,
there was no good
disgusting.
deaths.
And this film, I don't know, I would call it good. It was not good. It was personally, I don't think it was good. I did not enjoy it. Sorry, Michael.
I don't care. We're just gonna start off on a down note, but that's fine.
That's how this
fine.
movie made me feel. I'm sorry. Did you watch this movie and get happy afterwards? Because
Welcome to Every Film in the Book. I hated this film. Enjoy yourselves.
Can I not tell my opinion?
Well, I will also agree. I wasn't the biggest fan of this one.
Why and why? I want to know why.
Now, okay. And I'll tell you exactly why. And it's a pretty simple reason.
I know, and it's the only thing you have against the
No.
movie.
It's not that it was a little boring, which I did think it took a little while. It's the characters. I fucking hate every single one of them.
It was
I didn't care about anybody.
I know,
It
but
was
like
designed for you to
It
not
felt like a
them.
waste of time. Like, I wish I had that 2.5 hours of my life back because nothing happened that was anything.
Like there's certain points where it really drug me in, and I was being drug across that concrete. I'm like, fucking bring me in.
That's the name of the film. It's supposed to be uncomfortable.
No. It's not even the uncomfortableness. It's that it brought me in, and I was interested. I'm like, okay, cool. We're gonna rob bad people to help the good people. Well, good people
being the families
so
of criminals.
It's like, cool. Okay, so we're building up to like a heist or something, and it just builds up to more talking in a car, and then that builds up to we're talking in a car again.
You did see all the times that people got shot. And
people got shot a lot. Did you like that about the movie? Like, is that
like it still showed a thing happen?
Oh,
like,
no, like I'm not saying it didn't show like anything happening,
like,
but it was like
it was like unimportant thing or like things that how that person's gonna die. Great, that person died. There's no like story that was like hooking though, and it was like, if there's a story, you're supposed to care about the characters or something or a purpose. There was no like good purpose. I didn't care about anybody or anything. I was just like, well, they're going to die. Oh, they died. Okay, cool. Well, they're going to die. They died. Okay, cool. Oh, there's one person left. He's probably going to die. Oh, look, he died. Like, that was just the whole movie.
I did try to make a prediction and it was wrong. I thought the kid in the wheelchair was dead. to be like the minute they introduced him, and it's like the ex-con getting out of prison, and he's got a little brother with like some medical issues.
You thought his little boy was gonna die.
Well, because he was like the only like neutral, okay character where he was just like, I'm not doing anything wrong. I just like my video games, and like I was like, okay, well he's dead meat. There's no way they're not gonna kill that kid as some kind of like emotional thing for this ex-con.
Well, that's the thing is like they set up this whole backstory for this guy, then they just like had an hour-long movie without him, and then they brought him back. He got his money, and then he was the ending character, which is weird because like I feel like it wasn't mostly about him. And
yeah, I mean it mainly follows Mel Gibson and Vince Vaughn.
And then spoiler alert, everybody dies. It just
I'm just saying like that's just how they told the story.
Yeah, no, and I'm
that's
not
just how the story
like
was
it's
told.
like I don't want to like just rag on it because there were parts where I was like I was really drawn into it, but then like it just kind of kept going, and then like I was like, okay, come on, just give me just a little bit more than just Vince Vaughn and Mel Gibson grunting at each other in a car. Yeah, like that.
Yeah, like that.
So you just would prefer it condensed with less in between.
Yeah,
I would just prefer to not watch it.
Which would make it a action movie and not a drama thriller.
It is actually classified specifically as a drama and thriller. It's not an action film,
like,
but that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like if there's drama, I should care about the drama, and I didn't care about the drama. And that's the whole point of a drama, is to make you care to the point that you're like interested in the movie.
And I think they're challenging that in storytelling.
They're challenging the stereotype.
Okay.
Of
build on that.
If I can say more,
care
hold
about
on. Let him
She
finish.
is. I'm just saying, most of the time, for a story to be told well, you're supposed to care about the characters.
Right.
In this case, they told a unique story in a way that you don't normally get told a story. Like it was different. The guy was in the film at the start, then he was out for an hour,
right.
and it ends up being his ending. So we get to see different parts of each person's journey through the film at different times.
I mean, I definitely agree. They don't make you care. I mean, like Mel Gibson from the start, you're just kind of like,
you don't like
this
them
guy is a scumbag
immediately.
And like then he goes back to his family, and like the wife's kind of a scumbag, and like they do make you feel bad for her because she's limping around on a cane, but it's still like you're a terrible person though. Like like when it all boils down to like I don't like rooting for terrible people, and like I get like they all end up dying anyway except for a couple of them, but like it's not enough to be like, oh shit, well at least they got what was coming to them. But it was like I didn't want to follow Mel Gibson around for like 2.5 hours as he's just a scumbag.
Yeah, I guess my whole thing about it is that like, what is the point of watching a movie if there's nothing to get out of it, and it's not enjoyable, and it didn't have any impact on your life? Like it just, to me, feels like a waste of time. Like I will forget about this movie so quickly because I'll be like, I don't even know what happened. Like it was so just nothing. Like it was a lot of, long drawn out scenes. I personally have trouble with paying attention to things like that. And it was just like, I did not like the movie is all I'm trying to say, I guess. But I don't really understand why they made this movie. Like I don't think the story was a good story to tell. Like it was just people dying. Like cool, you want to watch that, just watch the news. Like why do we have to put it in a film? I don't know, it's not my type of film.
Well, speaking of the story,
right, there's strong opinion. Let's get into the film.
Well, yeah, let's touch on it a little bit. But it does open up with we're coming pretty hard. And we're coming at you hard and fast with this intro. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. I'm looking at you, Michael.
Let's take a huge crap on the film and then get started.
Well, no, I'm telling you, there was part. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I didn't like
8 minutes of
I didn't
shitting
like
on
your.
it. All right, let's
I'm
get
sorry
into
I didn't like your movie, Michael.
I'm sorry I rambled.
I like it. I like it. Does that make you happy? I want to kiss Mel Gibson. Does that make you happy?
Well, you guys said you hated it. You didn't even get let me finish how I liked it.
I'm trying to let you finish. Do you want to finish?
You could talk for the rest of the podcast. I won't say anything.
No, that's not what I meant. It's just you guys crapped on it the whole time. I liked it because it was told in a different way.
Right. No, you're allowed to like it.
That's just it. Yeah. I think that what they were doing was intentional, and I like that style of film. But to me, it was a well-made movie.
Okay. You're allowed.
Yeah.
I didn't like some of the movies we watched. It's
no.
bound
I don't
to
need justification for it. I'm just saying I barely got a word in edgewise, and I wanted us to do this movie. Just hammering it.
I'm sorry. There was a lot of strong opinions on this one.
I promise I will have nothing good to say, but I respect your opinion.
Thank you. Now we can move forward.
Anyway, back to The Coming. We get some joy in this film for 5 minutes.
No, it was the last 8 seconds of their intimate time together.
Yeah, I was not expecting the movie to open up with a sex scene. I was giving it to him. That was a muscular back. I don't know if you were paying attention.
Dude's in great shape.
Dude is in great shape. But like he chooses this time after sex to be like, hey, back in elementary school, I had a crush on you. To think back then I wouldn't know what to do what I just did, but needless to say, it was pretty good now, right?
He said I would have needed an instruction manual back then.
And needless to say, the scene is almost pointless.
But obviously they're trying to set up like he's getting back into the world because he's meeting up with his friend. He's like, hey man, it's been a while. I was like aching for something like this. Like, thanks for picking me up. Thanks for dropping me off. Like all this shit. And he goes back to his home and like, he's banging on the door and he's like, Mom, I'm home. So like, obviously he's been away for a while. So I guess, the first thing you would want to do
out of
prison.
Was he in prison?
Yeah.
He was an ex-con.
And they don't really give you any story of why. They just
details.
Drop you off in a car with hydraulics, and a guy mentions some work that probably doesn't come with a W-2.
Like he's definitely trying to get him to do some shady stuff.
Yeah.
And like you kind of feel bad for him because it's like, dude, you just got out of prison and you're already trying to do some like down low stuff.
Well, it happens all the time. People go back.
Yeah, I guess it's true.
Yeah, the biggest thing about that is it's really hard for people to get jobs. So how are they supposed to get back on their feet when they can't make any money, and all of that? So like, it's understandable,
especially when your mom spends all your money and becomes a prostitute while you're gone.
Yeah.
Doesn't make it any easier.
And it's also like you have a family to take care of and all of that. You're probably more likely to get back into crime.
Yeah, but this is where the brother in the wheelchair gets introduced, and like I literally have it right here. It's like as soon as the kid came to the door, I was like, yeah, he's dead. There's no way he's dead, or he's not dead.
You wrote that down, huh?
Yeah. I got a bunch. Yeah.
I
said something's gonna happen to the kid in the wheelchair. That's my last note for this opening scene.
Technically, something did. He got a larger television, and a wider selection of video games.
He didn't have to lift a finger.
He got the best.
He got the best deal.
Did the least.
Actually,
amount of
I think
work.
the mom got the best deal.
Yeah, seriously, she got back massages looking out at the ocean.
Well,
that's incredible.
I feel like she went through a little bit more to get there than the young fella did. Although he was in a wheelchair, so his life wasn't the easiest either. Yeah. They both did different things that sucked to get where they were.
Yeah. They definitely didn't have the best run of it. But after we established this main character, I don't think we ever got a name for him until those end credits.
No.
But I don't have anything I don't have any mention of it.
The only thing you really get is when they're in the van with the
they call them Slim
criminals. They call them Slim and Muscles, and that's it. But it's not the real name.
Yeah, no,
can't be the real
Obviously,
name.
code names.
I knew a guy back in college. Slim. Yeah. He was pretty fat.
I knew him Muscles.
Was it Mr. Shady?
Was it Mr. Shady? It could be Mr.
Slim Shady.
It could have been.
Oh shit! I didn't see where you're going with that. God damn, I'm bad at jokes. Anyway, from this scene, we cut to 3 weeks later, and all I have written is, "Hi, Mel," because we get our first Mel Gibson appearance. And he looks miserable because he's fucking miserable. He's a miserable man.
Typecast.
Yeah.
Slightly disappointed, mostly irritated.
Yeah, the first thing you get is a good...
Yeah, I seriously think that's his opening line is just...
I wish I counted the number of times that they sighed in this movie because, I would guess like 40 to 50.
They did it a lot in this
movie.
They
did it a lot.
Yeah, they
did. And they were,
especially in the first hour.
They were, well, in every situation.
Yeah.
I'm happy. Hey, just busted that criminal. All right, we get fired for it. And then another, like, there was a sigh for every occasion.
Oh my God. Yeah, no.
Happy,
and they all
sad.
came out different. I loved it.
Yep.
But he's on a mission at this point, and he's like staking out some guy's like back window, and you start hearing like knocks at the guy's apartment, like, hey, you got a leaky pipe, like we got to let ourselves in, like fix this thing. And Mel Gibson's just like, hey, Vince Vaughn, you didn't bring me coffee, you're a piece of shit, you have to climb the stairs.
Yeah, climb the stairs.
But this all goes down, the guy tries to escape, and Mel Gibson is just the most police brutality enforcing motherfucker I've ever seen.
Yeah, so the plumber at the door forces the criminal out the back window,
right.
And they grab him, and he just steps on his head. He just steps on his head.
Hey, well, you hear his nose break at some point.
Yeah, he gets pretty rough. So when they haul him out of the window and get him under control, we've established that they're being very sarcastic the whole time, and very nonchalant about, like, they pull their guns out when they hear a move. They're like, okay, it's gonna start. They pull their guns out. It's no big deal. So they keep that even after the arrest,
right?
And they're there looking for something. So they ask him, is there anybody else in the house? And he's like, just my girlfriend. He's like, okay, does she have any weapons? No. And then something else gets added on, like she doesn't hear very well,
right? So
not only is there someone else there, but now she's deaf on top of that, and her English isn't too good. Okay, cool. So they have to go in, and then we have it's a strange encounter with a woman.
Oh my
and
God.
The cops.
Like, this made me so uncomfortable.
It's not a good situation to be in.
Like, he goes after this girl, and she was gonna pull a gun on him. So like, I get his whatever, but like, this is too much. Like, he gets her in the shower and he sprays her down, and she's just in like literally her underwear, like nothing else.
No top.
Yeah, no top.
Just bottoms.
And he spritzes her down with water, and then puts her in the room and says, like, close the door, put the fan on, like,
put the fans
we're
on.
gonna get our fucking information. And I was like, dude, you are like,
I was half expecting him to like start hitting, like,
right.
I thought he was
seriously.
gonna like pistol whip her or something.
Just start beating her up. But this is where one thing I like that the storytellers do in this is, here's the characters, hate them. Like, they just immediately, as soon as he walks up and he's being sarcastic, I'm like, okay, these guys are assholes.
Right.
Like, and then,
like, the way they're talking about like certain like racial things is just kind of like,
yeah,
like,
you're
dude,
kind of on the fence where you're like, I do not like this person. Now I need to find out how much I don't like this person.
Yeah, what degree am I gonna?
And they kept adding layers,
right?
Especially with the insults to her.
They're
trying to get information of where does he hide the money and drugs type thing.
Right.
What's in the apartment? Tell us where it is. Well, she says something that isn't an answer for them, and they're like, well, did you understand her? I didn't understand. And you can understand her. Her accent's not that thick.
Yeah, no. And
then,
she's clearly saying, hey, can I put a shirt on?
Right.
This is kind of weird.
Right. And what she is saying is, I'm naked and I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah. It's like, Jesus Christ, dude. But like, I mean, you're not wrong. They really do shove it in your face. Like, hate these people. Like, nobody should be the good guy in this. The only kid you should be rooting for is the kid in the wheelchair who's amazing at video games.
Yeah, like they were kind of treating her like it's a hardcore interrogation, whereas they're just drug cops. Like, they shouldn't have to take it to this extreme. And they complied, and they, even though she was gonna maybe try to pull a gun on them, like, she didn't, and she didn't fight back, and like the situation wasn't escalated to the point where they needed to be so crude.
No. But I mean, this all leads into Vince Vaughn and Mel Gibson getting suspended from the force. Like, they're out at their breakfast. Like, even the waitress is pissed off at them. She's like, really? I just brought all this food over here and you're going to make me box it up?
As soon as the food gets there, they get the phone call that we have to have a meeting now.
Yeah.
And that's the first thing they say when they walk into the meeting is their boss is like, you guys smell like breakfast or whatever.
Yeah.
And then in a weird Mel Gibson-esque way of explaining things, it's not, we had food in the car. It was, we stopped and got a breakfast special at Ebby's or whatever the restaurant was, and we rode over here with their emanations. It's like nothing anybody explained was said normally at all.
But like, so all right, I'm just gonna nitpick this one thing.
Oh jeez, here we go, ladies and
just
gentlemen.
this one.
Like,
ladies and gentlemen, here we go.
And it's something that's in every cop movie, so I can't really say it's specific to this movie, but it's that stupid trope where it's like, you know, you used to be a good cop,
right?
But now you're not a good cop.
Yeah.
You need to be a better cop.
You let the life get to you.
Oh man, you've seen one too many drug busts, buddy. You're not a good cop no more. And it's like every fucking cop movie is like, you know, you used to be great. Like fucking Predator 2 even has you used to be a good cop, now you're a bad cop. It's like, be a better cop.
It does happen quite a bit.
Yeah, and like
that's the only way cops can do anything cool is if they become real like criminals.
Right.
It's like the only way cops in movies are beneficial.
Well, they do actually become criminals.
Yeah, I mean
Spoiler alert.
It doesn't even take them that much. Like it's literally after he gets suspended,
he immediately goes.
Yeah, like his daughter gets orange soda thrown at her, and he comes home and he's just like, you know what? I'm gonna steal from a heroin dealer.
Like,
right?
he does. There's not even like, he didn't even try to apply for any other jobs. Like, I wish he would have taken like 2 weeks to like try to do something else, and it's all failing, and then maybe he stumbles into this. But he just goes straight from, I'm a cop, I got suspended, I'm gonna do terrible crimes.
I'm gonna do a robbery,
kill a bunch of people.
Like,
well,
this is
very
2018.
drastic.
DoorDash was around. He could have just DoorDashed for like 6 weeks.
He could have DoorDash. Instacart's pretty good.
To be
Sponsor us.
to be fair.
No, go for it. Come on.
No, Instacart.
Sorry.
To be fair, like his wife did offer one job solution.
One.
Yeah, security.
There was one.
Which is a perfectly good job.
And he's like, no,
and
I don't want to
have to work it for
man.
6 weeks. Like, you can't
Literally.
suck it up for 6 weeks.
Literally 6 weeks.
Like,
Wow.
your wife's got multiple sclerosis. Like, fucking help her out and get a stupid part-time job while you're waiting for your suspension.
No movie then.
Yeah, but now...
No movie then.
That's true. It was
I mean,
for
good point.
Hollywood.
All right,
if it was different, then they wouldn't have made a movie.
No, I'm pretty sure we've made that argument. It's like, why did they do this? Oh, because there wouldn't be a
For the
movie.
plot.
There wouldn't be a movie.
For the plot.
So now he does not. Security is beneath him. Whatever his thinking is, he won't take it. So he cashes in a favor to get information to come up with a very elaborate.
Yes.
Well, I guess we don't really know all those complications are going to happen. They were just following him around. Yeah.
But yeah, like,
It's
I
so
mean, this is
complicated.
basically where we're at. Vince Vaughn is seen at a jewelry store. He picks up a ring and he's just like, oh man, you know, just something about my job. Like, how am I going to keep my babe fucking well fed if I'm, you know, a suspended cop?
He's saying, just thinking about my future. There's not going to be many diamonds in that future.
Yeah, no. And they're already kind of setting up. It's like, oh man, I wonder if Vince Vaughn's going to get it.
Oh, I have something to say about this guy, but after you go to the next part.
Okay, after we go to the next part. Okay, so he gets a call from Mel Gibson, and it's just like, hey, meet me outside my house, 4:30 in the morning, like, or dress nonchalantly and bring all your fucking hardware.
Put the fake license plate on,
Right,
and bring the hardware.
Yeah,
They don't want to be tracked.
but like, you know, in between this, we're getting scenes of. I wish I had a name for him other than the ex-con, because I feel bad calling him the ex-con. But him and his brother are playing video games. He gets a call and he's like, "Yo, I pause this. I gotta go. Like, we'll come back to this later. Like, remember what game we're playing? It's gonna be real important for the ending of the movie.
It's gonna all tie together.
Yeah,
But we kind of see two lines start off at the same time here,
right?
And we get the one guy going, then we get Mel Gibson going.
Yeah, and now there's even a third part introduced, because it's this killer just randomly gets introduced into the movie, and he goes into a convenience store and just starts shooting people up.
Yep.
And like, he starts randomly robbing people throughout, you know, this portion of the movie. And like, when he first gets introduced, like, they almost play it off like it's like almost like a dark comedy. Because he's like, he walks into the convenience store, he gets his money, and like, he just starts shooting things. Like, he shoots the security camera, then he shoots like bags of chips, and he shoots like the cooler. So it's just like, I thought they were trying to play this off as kind of like a dark humor type of thing, but
There wasn't a lot
it just
of
went
humor.
like dead serious from there.
Yeah, it
It's
was
like,
dead serious. And my thought on that was, I think he's probably testing out the equipment he bought for this job.
Right.
And
I mean, that would make sense.
And he needs money for that van to
yeah,
buy.
but like he shot all these bullets into like TVs and chips and stuff. Like bullets cost money. Like he's gonna have to spend some of that money he just stole.
I mean, I feel like he had a little capital to start.
Yeah, he had a well-funded savings.
Yeah, I think he was just. I don't think he needed the money. If he was able to get where the gold is at and which bank.
I mean, you're not wrong.
But I think he was just testing out his new, like the functionality of what he was wearing and the gun he had. Yeah. Just in a very non-valuing human life.
Yeah,
weird psychopath.
That guy was a bit of a dick.
Psychopath is a great word.
And they kept that tone for those guys in the van the whole time.
But yet we never find out their purpose. We never hear their backstory.
Yeah, no. All we know is they want to steal gold.
They want to kill and take and kill and kill and kill
and cut testicles.
Torture and kill and take money.
Yeah, they were pretty serious. They did not.
Yeah, no, and like
they were going to succeed.
That's why I couldn't get like a read on this. Yeah, the one guy was like Swedish or something.
Yeah,
I liked him.
You got to have one accent in there.
I swear I know him from some. It's gonna kill me.
Oh, as soon as
I guarantee it, we're gonna hit stop on this, and I'm just gonna be like, oh, that's the fucking guy.
Thing, yes.
But yeah, so from here, Mel Gibson and Vince Vaughn are going on a stakeout because from that tip Michael was saying he got from a friend, leads them to this like. Apartment building. I forget what they call it. It was like some
the brown stucco.
Yeah. And they're deciding, oh yeah, we're just gonna stake out this location until we find out if this tip is even viable, like if this guy even lives here. And it turns out like he's in this like ghost apartment. I didn't know you could rent apartments to ghosts.
Well, there was no mail going there. No rent was being paid. So like there was just no.
Yeah, but what do you do about the evil spirits? That's what I'm trying to say.
Wow, you hope they don't do all the drugs that you stash in your invisible apartment you rented.
That's a good question. Right into the show if ghosts can do drugs.
They can, and they steal them.
Ah, okay. No, I like it.
It's been cutting into drug dealers' profits for centuries now.
Yeah, Al Capone brought down by ghosts. It's crazy. It's crazy.
The ghosts were drinking up all his liquor stores.
He was a bootlegger for ghosts.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Sorry, I saw the opportunity.
He's from out of town doing business, so he would rent an apartment there without him attached to it to keep the money. Like he would have the money delivered there, and then the drugs would be delivered there, and you exchange and things like that.
So ghosts weren't involved.
It's like a stash. It's just no ghosts.
It's like a ghost restaurant, you know?
Oh, yes.
Where there's not a physical location, but they can do it through DoorDash and stuff.
Right.
Just like that, but with drugs.
The ghost kitchens or whatever they're
called. Ghost kitchen, yeah.
But, yeah, so...
It's a ghost meth kitchen, sorry.
It's a ghost meth kitchen? Walter Ghost White cooking that ghost meth.
No.
You go on DoorDash and you're like, what is this? Meth?
Stop asking questions.
Meth kitchen? What?
You just go walking through like an abandoned warehouse and all you hear is... Ooh, buy my meth.
If you need something, I'm holding. You're like, what? What's going on here?
Hey, you want to buy some meth? It's like, what? What the fuck? Nobody else is here.
No, it's on DoorDash. You get a little notification like, now on DoorDash, meth kitchen. You're like, what?
Ding! 45 minutes and Jeff will be here with your meth.
Now $0 delivery from meth kitchen.
Yeah, it's nearby. You get a $0 delivery fee.
Sorry, go on.
No.
But
Michael
yeah, no.
like
This is the.
I mean, it was fine for a bit.
No, this is the part of the movie I think Danielle hated the most, and this is what I called the sand sandwich.
Well, this
sand sandwich. No, okay. So what I was gonna say.
Yes.
So, Vince Vaughn.
Yeah.
He just like very casually agrees to go through with this whole plan of. Yeah, let's rob some people.
Right.
And he gets it the worst because he's just the partner. He gets roped into this. It wasn't his idea, and he just gets the raw end of the deal.
Yeah, he does get the shaft.
Like
they go into an extensive talk of, do you want to be a part of this?
Yeah,
and he accepts.
But like, if movies have taught me anything,
I think the lady,
didn't even
the
search for
partner
jobs,
code is basically they're married. So wherever the one guy goes, the other guy's got to go. So just for Mel Gibson bringing him in on this, and he's like, you don't have to do this. Like, I'm gonna take you home. Like, obviously Vince Vaughn as the younger partner isn't gonna let this 60-year-old dude take on a heroin dealer by himself.
If I didn't want, I 100% would have.
But you have free will. Vince Vaughn is.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
he's a mind control.
You have your whole life ahead of you. What are you doing? You're making such a terrible decision.
I mean, yes, the whole basis on the movie was a series of awful mistakes.
Terrible. This should have been called the series of unfortunate events. This is better. That would be better suited.
It was unfortunate.
I think
this movie was.
I think Dragged Across Concrete was a great title. That's why they picked it.
It sounds like a pretty epic name.
It does. I like the name of it. It is pretty cool. I wish they actually drug somebody across the concrete.
Though.
They
kind of did
several times.
Did.
Yeah, they did.
After people got shot, and then they had to drag them.
They did so much
on concrete.
That is true. Anyway, so Vince Vaughn is angrily, well, not angrily, just loudly eating a sandwich, and whatever. That scene's over. The murder man ends up coming back, and he just randomly sticks up these two guys in like a car. I don't know, like the scene again doesn't have any meaning other than he's just getting more money.
While Vince Vaughn and Mel Gibson are at the stakeout,
right?
They show you, they do good with the passage of time too. Like it was dark then, and then when we got back in the car with Mel and the other fellow's name, Vince Vaughn.
Yeah.
When we get back, it's nighttime too. So
right.
I do like how they when the camera's in the car for the first time, that kind of starts the clock for the rest of the movie. Right. And then it's all the same day until they jump to much later on at the end.
Yeah.
So I mean, I do like that part of it.
Yeah. Like they do at least let you know like where we're at for most of the time.
So while they're in the car on the stakeout, our killer is just in the back seat of these two I don't know. They were just kind of ragtag gangster kind of drug dealers.
Like, I just love, like, they're getting back in the car, and he's just like, dude, why didn't you lock the car? He's like, sorry, man, my brain was on something else.
I was thinking about something else at the time.
It's like, what were you thinking about? And it's like, oh, man, my taxes are already fucking 3 months late. How am I ever going to pay this? And then he just slams the door and walks into his restaurant.
First of all, criminals do not pay taxes.
Yeah, but we don't know if they were criminals. They just came out of a random building and they're like, hey, Billy. Hey, Tommy. How you doing?
That's not at all what happened. They're in the movie. They're criminals.
Yeah, I think they were drug dealers, right?
Yeah.
Did they actually establish it?
Yeah, well, he said empty your pockets, and we don't really know the location of where they were at.
Yeah, no, they just come out of a building.
Was stealing something from them. He told them to empty their pockets.
Right.
So they had something he needed. But we didn't really get anything other than the bad guys robbing or buying a van.
Yeah, I think they were just...
And that's it.
Right.
I think they were just more people to jump and try to take money off.
And it had something to do because they covered him.
Yeah.
You know, he puts the big hat on him.
Right,
After he kills him, he puts the big hat on one guy and positions him so maybe they won't get found right away.
Right.
Or at least till after the robbery. So
it
had some thought process with... Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't have the brain for murder, so I don't understand why half of these people do this.
He didn't want
stuff.
a bunch of cops to be around because somebody got found dead while they're doing a bank robbery.
Yeah, you know, I didn't see a single cop in this whole movie.
Well, Mel Gibson.
Well,
but I mean, they were civilians. They were suspended.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
I didn't see a single cop with all of these gunshots and violence and everything. There wasn't a single cop in this movie.
Yeah, and not to be that guy, but even if you're inside a building shooting a silencer, an automatic weapon still...
Yeah, you're still going to hear something from outside of that building.
Not a single passerby was like, maybe I should call the cops.
Right.
Only one guy had to go to the bank that morning.
Yeah,
seriously.
And he was like, oh, the bank will be open in 15 minutes. And he's like, oh, okay, and he left.
He took at face value now we'll be back in 15 minutes from... the black guy painted white that's blocking the entrance to the bank.
But like, all right, so at this point, like the killer has to buy this van, and like that's what we assume he's been stealing all this money for.
Right.
And like before we get to this like bank robbery, this was the biggest fucking thing that got me. I was like, how much because we only get 2 scenes of him robbing. He stole like the pocket change out of those two guys, and then he stole the register from the convenience store.
Is not a lot of money.
So at most, this guy is rocking like $200 hard ass dollars.
Right. Maybe 500.
And this van is tricked the fuck out, Michael.
Oh, I know.
It is tricked out.
Money.
I know. As you yell at me about a van that I also saw.
I know. I'm very passionate about this.
Something was in the trunk of those two guys.
You think they were packing like 50 grand?
Yeah, these weren't small time deal. Like he went to a mob boss to find out where a major drug dealer's going. Bundles of heroin don't go for $400.
Well,
they
no,
go for
I know,
thousands
but like
and thousands
if
of
he
dollars.
got it from this convenience store and these two guys he robbed, I need more on these two guys.
Like they didn't even show him opening the trunk.
I may have completely missed it. Did they show him like pulling something out of the trunk?
No, but that's why like the one friend was upset that the car wasn't locked.
Right.
So there's probably something in the car. And they're shady characters.
Right.
So we're just supposed to like
he has
assume
a precedent
these things.
of robbing, so
yeah. See,
he took something from them.
See, there's certain movies
Come
where
on,
like
Steve,
I
keep
need
up.
my fucking handheld.
Right?
Like Everything Everywhere
I
that
got
we just
two.
did. Perfect. Don't hold my hand. Just let me on for the ride.
That's a nice sound.
Yeah, right. This I needed them like just coddle me, like give me more information, just a little bit more.
That's what I'm saying. You're used to.
I'm used.
Well,
to
I'm not even saying. I
I
don't even think you need to be coddled. It's just like any hint of anything would be nice.
But they make you. This way of storytelling just makes you have to.
Yeah, you have
it.
to infer a lot.
Yeah.
You have
like,
to
you have to
be.
assume.
You have to have an imagination to make up the story that they couldn't tell you themselves.
Well, like
that's not it at all.
I mean, that's like yeah. I mean, but like I don't know. I'm just very passionate about this van. How the fuck is he buying this van?
Yeah.
Anyway,
whatever. I mean, I'm assuming that he is a long-time criminal.
I'm going with briefcase full of money.
Yeah, I'm sure. Maybe there was
trunk.
something in these guys' car, and maybe they were more important than this. They at least led them on to be. But like. Again, I'm stupid, filmmakers out there. Like any filmmakers listening to this,
label everything for Steve.
Please,
all you filmmakers,
get like something, some little stupid line of dialogue. Like Mel Gibson's like, "Oh man, two really rich guys were just shot in a parking lot last night." That's all I need. That's all I need.
Or just like a news headline while they're scrolling through their phone.
Random dude in jean overalls carrying $100,000 got shot last night.
Right.
It's like cool. All right, I get it.
$100,000 went missing from trunk of local teenagers.
Yes, that's all I need.
In smaller print, it's to fund a van for a future robbery.
Yes.
And then,
like,
then you'd be all caught up.
Okay.
To buy this airless tire having, bulletproof glass wearing,
gun
fucking slit in the sliding door,
engine cover,
fucking metal plating underneath. Like you're looking at least $100,000 for this van. Especially if he's buying it out of a like abandoned parking garage.
Yeah, and
I guarantee. I mean, I'm not gonna knock that convenience store owner. He's probably doing very good business.
Packing a little bit.
I'm sure
but
he doesn't have that much.
In no way making $100,000.
That's what I was saying.
He
was testing his gun out, his outfit and his gun.
No, I mean that's fair. That's fair.
The purpose was not what it looked like.
Yeah.
All right.
But we're setting up for this robbery now, and the two brothers. They called them brothers. I don't know if they're actually brothers, but the ex-con and Michael Jai White.
I don't think they were related.
I don't think they were really.
They were just really good friends.
They were just like
they just hang out.
my brother.
I just think that's a popular way people refer to each other.
Well,
just in general, Steve.
Well, no, because the fucking Vince Vaughn says it. He's like, oh yeah, the two brothers. Like. Yeah. So I was like, oh, he's either being racist or they're actually brothers.
That's not being racist saying, look at the brothers.
I think he just assumed that they were
That's not racism.
It could be. I don't know. Everybody's racist in this movie. I don't know.
Racist undertones, yes.
Yes, there's a lot of like, oh man, our neighborhood's going to shit because these imbeciles are coming around.
No one has a southern accent, but
I know.
There
I'm sorry, I just go that way, and I apologize.
Right? What the heck?
I just go that way.
Wow, that's very racist towards white people.
Does either one of you want to describe how, when they start following the van, that he pulls out?
Please go about this because I don't understand the logic behind this.
Okay. Well, I think we should get into the Jennifer Carpenter.
Yes.
So we're introduced to another character like an hour and
Literally an hour and 19 into the movie.
An hour and
Halfway
19
into
minutes.
the movie.
We paused it to find out how long it took.
Yeah.
When she gets introduced, we're given a good introduction of this character and a pretty fast psych eval.
I thought she just hated people, and I was all on board with her.
No,
I literally have written, Jen doesn't like people. Hell yeah.
She's like, I hate work. I hate it. No, it was a little deeper than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they like try to set up some emotional connection with this character, and I'm just the whole time like, this is not going to end well.
It will not.
This is not going to end well.
Yeah. But keep going, Michael.
Well, they just quickly, she goes to the bus stop.
Yeah.
Something's wrong. She can't get on the bus. She runs back home, but that hotel chain for the door
Like
chain.
a chain
Oh,
lock
yeah.
on the
It's
door.
like, what? So she's yelling for her husband. Long story short, she has run out of all the time she's allowed for maternity leave, and she just can't leave the baby at home to go to work. She kind of has a little breakdown, and her husband's very firm and reassuring at the same time. And then she needs to go to work.
Like, listen, babe, I'm a fucking bum. You make money. You need to go to work so I can
He's like,
just
you make
sit on the
so
couch.
much more money than I do. Like he kind of goes through like the kid's going to need school books. He's going to need clothes. We're going to be able to have a much better life for him if we use your salary, not mine. So she said, okay, just let me touch him, whatever. And she steals a little sock
fucking
booty,
baby
the little
booty.
baby booty.
Well, sock.
And she could have put it away and returned to normalcy. But no, immediately when she gets on the bus to go to work, she pulls it out and has to play with it. Like she only had 27 seconds where she couldn't be in contact with it.
I'm just saying, like this scene where she's like macking on the baby's foot. I'm like, parents, you guys are disgusting sometimes. I'm like, it's a baby. I get it came from you, and it's miracle of life. Love it. I get it.
It's got to be her first child.
But I'm like, Jesus Christ, you're eating this good stuff.
I don't think it was the second one.
Yeah,
she's
no,
like, well, I just
like,
didn't like the first one.
No, I just mean that like people are very attached to their first child when they're very young.
No, and like that's
especially
what, like I don't want to like downplay it, but like, god damn, it's gross. Like, get that fucking foot out of your mouth, man. Come on.
So she gets to work, and definitely not the welcome I was expecting from a bank. It's this very, he's like think 18th century pompous kind of.
Oh my god, yeah. Where did they dig this guy up from?
Without you has been duller in, the light. The sun has been not as shiny.
I thought he was being sarcastic, and he was going to be like, you were late, get back to work. Like, I thought that's what it was going to be, because she kind of established like, my work sucks, but they were all so nice to her, and they made her cupcakes.
Like, I would love going back to that environment. Like, if every time I showed up to work, my boss was just like, oi, I'm so glad you journeyed from afar to return to our premises.
You'd be like, yes, good sir.
I'd be
Thank you for having me.
Oh my God. And he's like, there's donuts in the kitchen for you. I would love if you partaked of the sweets. I'd be like, dude, all right, fuck the baby. I'm gonna come in here every day.
I did think it was funny because this bank manager, he might own the place, whoever. It's definitely like stereotypical Jew with his, he's like completely balding and then just so over the top with his language and welcoming, and it was
Michael's Jewish.
It was pretty funny. I can say it even if I wasn't Jewish. This is America.
No, I just like, I only knew this guy from New Girl, and because he was one of what's his name, one of their best men for Schmidt.
Best
yeah.
man.
And he's just like, he has the same fucking way of speaking back then. And he's like, I believe if we put our minds together, we will all receive booty.
Is this our beloved, whatever her name is, that darkens our doorstep? Along we have awaited your return.
Yeah, I was like,
come on.
I'm like, I gotta be honest. They really set this up as like, this scene is too happy for this movie. Mm-hmm. We're about to get like something bad, and like as soon as the one guy walks through the door, you're just kind of like, yep,
everyone's gonna die.
We've seen him, so we know, but they don't know yet.
Yeah, no.
And then they kind of finish the welcome, and then you see the van pull in front of the door.
Yep.
And as soon as the van pulls in front, he takes the security guard's gun and pulls his out, and then they get to robbing.
Oh, dude.
They do a little robbing, a little thievery.
I'm going to say this once, and it's the only time I'm going to say it.
Okay.
If the guy with the fucking gun tells you don't make any moves or I'm going to kill everybody, probably don't make any moves, right?
Okay, so I'm gathering no emails is on the list of things you're saying. When you say don't move, I think emails would be on that list.
Now, maybe like a personal letter, like if you're like writing it down, maybe they wouldn't have that much of a problem.
Right.
But emails probably not kosher.
Yeah. And instead of, they all have panic buttons,
things
like that. So, I mean, realism, the cops would have got called.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't have helped, because in order for our two main characters to be able to rob the robbers, there couldn't be cops involved. So,
but
that kind of,
and the other thing I have with this is the robbers don't want to use like their real voices, so he's using this like tape recorder with like pre-recorded voices. But I'm like, these answers are so specific. How the hell? Like, how did they know who the manager at the time would be? Like when they showed up, like
I mean, I'm sure it's like the main branch manager or whatever.
You can research all.
But like, is the main branch manager someone who's like there every day, or is he like visiting like?
Yeah, what if he was out of the office? Like, what would they have done?
Think about it, guys.
It's like, oh, there's a branch manager from next door that has actually came over
like,
today.
Mr. Harrison. It's like, no. He's at the southern location this week. I'm Greg.
He's out of office today.
If they knew the gold was gonna be there, they're able to find out the employees' names and their schedules too.
Specific.
Yeah, like it just seems so crazy that like they timed out these responses so perfectly
with the conversations.
They had a psychic do it.
Obviously.
Because
is Michael Jai Wade a fucking?
I will say
psychic?
I will say that the responses were a bit. They could have.
Like, why didn't they just do like what Scream does with the voice box? Like, he could have just had one of those.
I think because they wanted to do it that way.
Because the movie had to happen, Danielle. Damn it.
Sorry.
That's why.
For dramatic effect.
But it was funny. The responses were like, oh, those are pretty good. They've either done this 700 times or they've talked to this guy a bunch before they started filming.
Yeah, seriously. But like I had to write like, are these pre-recorded? I'm like, how the hell did you know what this guy would say or how they would do?
It could have been. One thought I had was it could have been a one guy in the van talking,
like talking through it.
But no, there was a clear. There was a clear.
Although they were all actions, they were like, you do this, you go there.
See, there was one point where the guy's like, do you have any other employees in the back? And the guy's like, no, I don't have any other employees in the back. And the next thing that comes on is, you look nervous. Are you sure you don't have any?
I mean, that
was
just.
How the fuck does the tape know?
No, that was just like, he could assume
it's
that.
It's a transformer.
They were probably going to say no.
Yeah.
And. Although, what if he said yes?
Yeah, like what if he was just like,
oh, actually, yes, there's a few people in the back.
I think Tim's on his lunch break. Hold on, let me go get him.
Yeah,
you look nervous. Are you
room.
Sure there's no one in the back? It's like, motherfucker, I just said yes.
Yes, there is.
The funnier thing would be the robber trying to figure out, okay, the answer to that response should
he
be
like
30.
takes the cassette tape out and like
yeah. He's got it. He's like, no, that's on side B. No, I think that's ahead 40 seconds. Hey, sit down. No, wrong one. Get on the ground. No, still not the right thing.
It's like they do this scene in a lot of movies where they're using a tape recorder to talk, and they get that rewind and fast forward fucking perfect. Like, even movies I like True Lies, like he's doing this and he's going back and forth.
Well, that's something positive then. They did enough of these robberies to be good at it. So they were confident they could just hit play and everything would be fine. But it is too bad, though, we're given such... Like, I like Jennifer Carpenter.
Yeah,
she's one of my favorite aspects of Dexter and anything else she's in. Like, I've always liked what she does. So they give you this, oh, she's got, like, attachment issues. Here, it's her first day back from maternity leave. I'm gonna shoot your hands off with a submachine gun.
Oh my
because
God,
Tom
dude.
from accounting wanted to send an email to 911.
And she reached to stop it.
Fuck you, Tom. You goddamn had to be a hero, didn't you?
And it would be one thing if they had like $3 ski masks on and ratty clothes, and you could tell they weren't professionals. But guys walk in like that. One guy's got a disguise on, and the other guys are dressed like the Turkish special armed forces or whatever.
Seriously.
It's like, these guys mean business.
Yeah.
And they showed it immediately. She gets her, dude goes to send that stupid email, and she gets her hand blown off, and then fingers.
God. Yeah.
And then it has to reach in and pull out the baby.
Yeah, the baby sock.
She's like, give this to my baby.
His name's
Make sure my
something.
husband has it.
Yeah, and then they just like do a quick cut of her getting shot in the face, and her head explodes.
Yeah.
But we get about half a second.
Literally
of it.
half a second, but you can barely see. Like that bullet hits, and the head explodes.
Yeah,
and then it just cuts to the outside of the bank, and Mel Gibson being like, "We can't do anything. It's out of our jurisdiction."
Until Batman arrived, apparently. Where is she?
Where's the drug going?
So bad.
I'm just saying, I think everybody would have gotten shot regardless if they followed instructions or not, because clearly they have established that these people don't care about human lives. So what is this whole,
the only
show for?
The only other argument for that is if the guy doesn't go for the thing, and
they would have just shot their kneecaps, maybe.
Well, no, I think if everything would have gone as planned, they'd have been fine, and they wouldn't have needed to take a hostage. But as they're leaving, we see the manager dead with his balls cut, like they told him they would do.
Oh, so that means an employee was behind
So they weren't happy with something. Well, because the manager does make a point where he's got his hands up. He's like, I will open every vault I am capable of opening.
Yeah.
So he probably opened all the ones he could, then physically couldn't open the other vault. And then they were like, well, we need to make sure he's give him the old snippity snip.
PSA at home: don't get your balls cut off. It probably hurts.
Yeah, at work.
Yeah, especially not at work. No, that's the last place you want to get your balls cut.
Well, so I don't understand exactly why they take a hostage.
I think it was kind of like what Michael was saying, like after the movie was done, like just in case they did get followed, they needed like some kind of
these guys are
bargaining
professionals.
chip.
They're covering all their angles. They came in, they said the plan. The guy did try to do something, so they killed everybody. But two of them might have survived.
But I mean, again, they don't say anything to establish that. That's just me inferring. Like Michael's probably right. Like
yeah, but like if they were being followed, they did still commit heinous crimes, and they have a bunch of money. So I feel like that's enough. Like that's enough of an asset to still potentially stop them without taking somebody, unless they were going to do terrible things with her, which I just assumed they were going to try to
they didn't
sell her on the black market or rape her, because
the thing with
like what else would they do?
They're leaving a crime scene. If they get chased, they need to have negotiating power with the cops. Like that's why you take a hostage in that situation, because then they can just shoot her and dump her after they're all clear. But
either way, she's dying.
Yeah, it's a bad situation.
That's why they take a hostage, in case they get caught.
So after this whole botched not botched, they did get their money.
No, they succeeded.
But like after everything goes wrong, the two brothers, I guess, that are driving these robbers around are like, dude, like you guys told us there wouldn't be any killing. Like you're taking this way too far. And the other guy's just like, dude, shut up. Like we want to survive this. Like maybe don't criticize the guys with the like submachine guns in the back seat.
And they will blow your head off.
I think this starts the main journey of what you guys were complaining about, where it's just them talking in the car.
Yes, it's just nothing but car talking.
It's probably it was halfway through the movie.
It has to be at least 40 minutes.
At least I was gonna say like 30, 35 minutes of just.
And like not that that's a bad thing, but if the dialogue is at least something to like grab your attention and not just, is anybody following us? No. Okay. Is anybody following us? Still no. Yeah. Okay. And then Mel Gibson being like, we got to get these guys. And Vince Vaughn being like, okay. And then it cuts back. We still got to get these guys. Okay.
I do like how they established that the brothers driving are not part of the organization in the back of the van. And they kind of have this conversation on the drive where Slim calms Muscles down, because that was not what they signed up for.
Yeah, no.
And they start to bring it up with the robbers. They're like, that was kind of excessive back there.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, okay, you have a problem with it. And then they start being mean, like put your guns in the thing, cover it with the sports section, close it. I need to hear it click.
Right.
I need to hear it click. So I don't know. I think they do a good job of showing you like, hey, this is not what they signed up for either. So you're like half rooting for the cops that we know are slightly racist and assholes, and then now these guys that are robbing people, they're associated with killing those people, but they didn't really do it. And we have some backstory with one, but we know we hate these guys 100% in the back of the van.
Yeah, like no matter what, these guys are scumbags.
And then they follow it up again by the way they let the lady relieve herself on the trip.
Oh my God.
Like it's not dignified in any manner. They just cut her pants off and stuff them between her legs and said like, what's he say?
He said squirt
or something. Very rude.
Like Jesus Christ.
But that's the whole tone in the van is like, nobody wants to be there.
And it's just not fun. Like I'm not saying like movies have to be fun, but this is like it's like grody. Like it's I know, and like it's supposed to make you uncomfortable, and it's supposed to make you like just hate everybody. But I'm like, I even hated the girl that ended up being the hostage because she still went along with their fucking plans.
Yeah.
It's like you could have went to these cops and been like, okay, they want me to shoot you. But if you kill
like
them
that was
now,
her out. Like what the hell?
And like she still follows along these plans.
Well,
so it's like everybody's a scumbag.
Again, they had her driver's license and asked her.
That made me laugh when you guys were just like, oh, actually, no, I moved like 3 months ago.
Yeah, like, so is this your address? Do you have loved ones at home? Because, we could come and kill them.
What if she was like,
I
have a goldfish.
I have a goldfish.
They take the towel out of her mouth and she's like, I actually moved 3 months ago and I haven't updated my driver's license
right
yet. I actually live with this address.
But that's how they get her. That's how they get her to do it. Is leverage the loved ones at home. And it was pretty funny because it's like, okay, well, that's my wrong address, so I'm not going to say anything. And they just murder some other family.
Yeah.
Oops.
So she's like, okay, now my family's safe.
Yeah.
But some other family must.
Oh yeah, they're
pay
done.
The price.
Done.
I would have trusted the cops to take them down.
Well, there's no way she knows they're cops.
That's true.
Oh yeah, that's true.
There's no way.
Shit.
Honestly, you're 100% right. She would have been way better off not getting shot in the face.
Well, okay,
hang on, Steve.
Okay,
hang on.
sorry.
But she doesn't know that. She has no way to know that, and all she knows is that my family's gonna die if I don't kill these cops. But in hindsight, there's 2 trained cops and 1 terrified lady with no pants on with 1 gun. So that's just a way for the criminals to get rid of.
But
a
so
witness.
So here's the other
they know
thing,
she's gonna die.
So like they send her like Mel Gibson and Vince Vaughn track these guys down. They get them at their like drop off spot and like they have them pinned and they send this girl crawling out. Okay, Vince Vaughn has a gun on her and he's literally trying to talk to her like, hey, are you okay? Like, come to us. Like, we'll help you. Like, are you okay? Can we like? And
that's
he's really
sort of
trying
language.
to make himself, especially after Mel Gibson is like you have 45 seconds to comply or we'll kill you, the girl, everybody, and take the money.
Yeah.
So if he already threatened to kill her and Vince Vaughn is trying to get her, like coax her to her and he's not shooting, like shouldn't that kind of like send some bells off in your head? Like, oh, maybe these guys aren't here for me.
Well,
like,
I feel like that makes them a little more trustworthy.
No, because they're still in the van alive at that point, even if she tells them, and they just call and have her family murdered. So she still has to do it.
Oh, right. I forgot they said something about
and
that.
3,
okay.
And to make it look like there was infighting between them, 3 rifles went off inside a van with the doors and windows shut.
Right.
She probably can't hear nothing.
Yeah. Oh.
She can't hear anything.
Yeah,
3 rifles went off inside a van, and then her ears are ringing the whole way there. So
all right.
That's just
I mean, I guess that makes
the
sense.
situation.
But yeah, that was like the one thing I was like, if you're already crawling towards them and they haven't shot you yet,
right?
The enemy of your enemy is probably your friend.
There's a whole book about that.
Yeah.
But she eventually crawls, and this is another one of those times where Danielle really didn't like the audio for the sandwich eating in the car.
Oh my god!
And then this was another one for me. I didn't mind the sandwich noise,
right?
But for me, her knees on the concrete,
scraping.
Yeah, you could hear it, and it I didn't care about the food noises, but it was like I could feel her bloody knees scraping across the concrete as she contemplates killing people so that her family doesn't get murdered by people that made her pee on her own pants.
I thought you were going to say the next part where they cut the guy's stomach open who swallowed the key.
Oh my God.
Because those are also, that was a drawn out scene of just, oh my God.
At least they stayed consistent, you know?
Yeah, no, this whole final scene is just like.
It's just like so, because like, it's just torturous. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and like, so everything goes to shit. Vince Vaughn gets killed. Mel Gibson kills 2 of the robbers, and there's 1 guy left, and there's still Slim left who escaped. Yeah. So he's hiding somewhere, and he's filming this whole situation. We've
established that he's got a vantage point. Right. He's got it on camera.
So all this goes down, and he sends a couple shots at Mel Gibson and is like, hey, like, finish off the guy in the van, like, and give me my money.
Now, I will say, we started this movie off by a camera phone getting him in trouble.
Right.
So this kind of punctuates the end of it is, again, somebody's filming him from their phone. So that was kind of the one thing I noticed in this watch, not the first one I did, was I was like, oh, they show you him getting filmed again. Right. That's what started this whole problem. That's what's caused why we're here, and it happens again.
And if you think about it, that's what causes his death.
Yep.
Is this whole idea of him being recorded. If he would have just let it go and was able to just be like, hey, I trust the guy. Like, he's obviously trusting me.
Right.
Like, just let it go, and I'm sure you'll be fine. Like, the dude just wants to go home and be rich, and you just want to go home and be rich.
I think
just go home and be rich.
They give, because after the issue's solved or whatever, they're talking about splitting the gold. And they agree on a price, 60-40 or whatever. And Slim says it a couple times. Yeah, man, 60-40.
Yeah, we're good.
Man. So they show you him reiterating it a couple times to Mel Gibson, and we see Mel Gibson going along with it, but being his like rough self.
Yeah.
But everything's fine, and they show a considerable amount of screen time between the two of them not trying to kill each other.
Yeah, I mean, they both like find guns that they've had hidden, but like nobody uses it until Mel Gibson is dumb and fucking pulls it.
Right, and I wasn't expecting that. The first time I watched it, I was like, oh, cool. Like, the one possibility is they become friends, and the rest of the movie is them spending the gold. Like, they could have gone anywhere.
No, literally, I wrote,
got a friend in me. No, like just drinking a beer together.
just Toy Story pops up in the credits.
But no, I literally wrote before like they even decide they're gonna split the gold. Like, as soon as this situation happened, I wrote, of course they're both gonna shoot.
Right.
Because like, that's just what this movie already leads you to believe. Everybody's going to shoot everybody. It doesn't, like, any inkling of, oh, we're going to get along and things are going to be fine. No, somebody's going to fuck it up.
And this is after they've dragged their dead friends.
Yes.
And put them in and then driven all the way to sink. God. Like, it would have been so much easier just to lead with that.
Yes. Like, if this movie ended, them pushing that car into the lake and them being like, okay.
Or if
and then they just walked away, I would be more happy with that.
At least if Mel Gibson knew he was going to pull the gun the whole time, he could have at least made the other guy load the heavy ass gold into the vehicle. Like, at least make him do all the work if you know you're going to pull a gun on him.
Right. True. But like, yeah, and it's just like, you know, I already didn't like Mel Gibson as a character, but then this just made me hate him even more. I'm like, dude, you have the wife at home with the illness that you need to be there to help her. She can't be on her own. And now you have this little daughter at home that you're worried about, like, oh, she's getting orange soda thrown at her and it could lead to worse, which I get. Like, you know, you want to keep your kids safe. But then why even take the risk of pulling a gun on this guy?
When he's clearly just going to shoot you back.
Yeah.
Like, there's more of a chance of him shooting you.
I'm like, even if you get him, he's probably going to shoot you back. So I'm like, now you're leaving 2 people at home and no way of getting them the gold.
Like, it's better to trust him in that situation. And then if he does pull a gun, at least you can also take that moment to try to pull your gun. You're probably still going to get shot. But, you know, I feel like that's a better risk to take, to trust him, than to assume he's going to do something bad.
But he trusted his word when he said, this is the getaway car. There's no guns in here. So he knew he had the upper hand, and it was all to delete the video. Now, of course, that's how this whole problem started. Yeah. So he's probably a little sensitive about being on, camera right now. But at the same time, you just ruined any chance. And they did make you feel like the story was resolved. Like for a little bit there, you go, oh, this might end well. This might be cool. His wife does need some help, and his daughter's been getting beat up, and this guy's family needs. I would be okay with them splitting it and happily ever after, because both families needed that money.
Right. It's like, give us something to grasp onto at the end that's like, okay, maybe Mel Gibson can be a redeemable character. And maybe this other guy isn't just, an ex-con and was in the wrong place at the wrong time type of thing. Like give us something that makes these people at least just a smidgen likable.
Nothing.
And I do think if they would have gotten to their homes and, they split the money and all of that, maybe at that point he could have asked, hey, dude, do you think you could delete that video since we, made an agreement? I do want to say, I want you to read the last line you had on the bottom of that page.
Oh, I wrote, Jesus, I hate this movie.
Yeah, I saw that. He wrote that in his notes.
And I wrote that because the fucking 11 months later popped up. And I was just like, I had to quickly write this down. I was like, Jesus, just end. Like, I hate this movie.
Well, to end the movie,
11 months later,
Mel Gibson gets shot up, and he dies pretty quickly. Yeah. And then does the, bury my friend. I don't want him involved in this. And give something to my wife and daughter.
Yeah, and that's the other thing.
40.
Yeah, that's the other fucking thing. Good. If he was just a decent human being for 30 seconds,
he could have 40%.
He would have had 40% of gold. Yeah. Now his wife is getting something.
Well, and 10%. One thing I do like is the amount. They showed you the bags being heavy, and they showed 4 of them, like 2 each, and 4 bags of gold like that. It's like 40%. It's not 40% of $2,000.
No,
it's 40% of. That's a lot of gold.
Like
that's millions of dollars.
And the only way they actually show you how much it is by this last scene, where you see the mansion that they are living in, somewhere on some island or seafront. Town.
No, he's living it up.
Like Dubai or something like that. And it is the most bougie thing you can imagine. So clearly it's a lot of money. But yeah, it's kind of hard to wrap your head around that amount of money when it's in gold duffel and inside of duffel bags.
And I think that's why they made it so exotic. Right. Because okay, you kind of can't be in America and fence that much gold without getting you're going to jail. So
he had to run clearly.
Yeah, that gold could have bought him passage somewhere,
right?
A big old beach house and live happily ever after.
Right.
But Mel Gibson's we cut to Mel Gibson's family, and his daughter walks in and she's carrying a package, and she's like, "Mom, I got I think it's from Dad." And the mom goes to open it, and it's just a wooden box filled with gold, and my thing is she got paid. Great. How is she going to cash this? He couldn't have taken the courtesy to cash the fucking gold for her.
No. Isn't that traceable? Don't they have serial numbers on them? Wouldn't they know that it's stolen?
Yes.
Yeah, that's how they go get it. It's
and she's like, "Oh, thank you." It's fucking try to find a pawn shop or something.
I'm that guy just gave you a fucking headache, because now you got to figure out how to turn this into actual money so you can spend it.
Oh yeah, you would have to launder it in some way.
Yeah.
But I think my favorite part of the end is both of those families needed money for different reasons, and they talk about the cop's family talks about we need to move out of this neighborhood, but we need money to move, and then the other family is well, we don't have any money. And their mom's not making good choices because she doesn't have any money.
Right.
So they both need it for different reasons. And they both got some of the money, but he's on some island with the best video games, the best, and he's dressed real sharp, all in white, big open air concept house. And then when it goes back to them getting their gold, I know they haven't gotten the gold yet, so it can't affect their lifestyle. But I was kind of happy that they were still in that dinky, dingy apartment, because it's like I wasn't supposed to like Mel Gibson at all.
Right.
And even though they did bad stuff, I like Slim better than Mel Gibson. So like, screw you and your family.
I'm glad he got something.
Yeah.
Like, at least he had the family that he could still take care of. But I'm like, I as much as I'm like, Mel, why weren't you just a good person? Like, I have no sympathy for that guy. I'm like, you're a fucking idiot and you deserve
everybody.
What you got.
Everybody except for the people in the bank got what was coming to them.
I feel bad for his family, for the wife and daughter.
Yeah.
Because, like, they just...
Yeah, they got screwed in this situation.
Like, he can be the only one to work. And then he gets shot. And, like, what did they do for 11 months? It took him 11 months to send the package.
Right.
What did they do?
Well, they probably,
like, what did they do?
She probably went on full disability, and they got their rent paid. But realistically... they were not living very well.
No, but
that girl probably got a job. Like, if she was 16, like, she could.
Yeah, she's working at some like bodega,
or she could work under the table.
Yeah, but like it just it ends with like some happy notes where it's like, yeah, like their lives are gonna be better.
Right.
But I'm like, they could have been they could have been so much better if just two people would have just been like, hey, we're friends now. Like, let's go grab a beer after we just got done burying our friends. Like, come on.
I
think if you're gonna make an agreement, make an agreement.
Well,
don't go back on your word.
And they earlier on when he's meeting with the with his boss, the cop boss or whatever, whoever runs the lead detective or whatever. He does say, this isn't the first time you've been suspended.
Right.
Like, you've been getting more like this. So it's like he's been making bad choices, and he just made one more that turned into this big, huge mess, because most of the people in this movie were not expecting it to go as far as it did.
Right.
And, Mel Gibson and Vince Vaughn have a chat in the car, like, we're not killing anybody, right? And they're like, nope. And then the rest of the movie, there's just killing people.
Just killing people.
A bunch of killing. And then they die, and then everybody dies.
But yeah, I mean, that's the end of Dragged Across Concrete. It just,
it drags you across concrete.
The one guy has a better life. The other people will eventually, I guess, have a better life until the mom inevitably dies and the little girl's left on her own. And then it's like, oh, cool. Thanks, Mel Gibson.
She'll be fine. People have it worse.
Yeah, no, I know.
But every choice that got made on the people that started it, like Mel Gibson started it, everybody around him suffered, and then he suffered too.
Yeah.
So it's like one half was really bad choices. The other guy's friend died, but they got some good benefits out of it.
Like, this, just as like my final thought, and then you guys like finish out what you need to say, but like this almost reminded me of, like, it was trying to be The Departed. Where
it felt
it's
a
like
little
the same
Departed.
kind of like similar themes, like everybody's crooked, nobody's really a pure good guy,
and it's a slow crime.
And it's like a slow burn. But there's something about The Departed and their storytelling where it's like, yeah, these guys are all scumbags and I hate them all.
Right.
But you also kind of like them a little bit.
Like, there's certain characteristics, like they give Matt Damon some jokes and they give Jack Nicholson like some silly things about him where you're like, oh my god, he's doing horrible things, but oh man, he's just having fun while he's doing it.
Yeah, like if they at least have a sense of humor or something.
And like, I think that's what I was trying to like convey at the beginning, but it just came out as, fuck this movie, I hate it all.
Right.
But it's like, if you're gonna have a story like this, like, I'm fine sitting through it, I'm fine being taken along for the ride, but you need to give me something to grasp onto in terms of like characteristics.
And you were saying that even why decisions were being made,
right?
A little more information of that, and that's why I like it, is because they don't.
Yeah, well, I mean, you have
the story.
You have a brain. I don't so much, but
that's why I liked it. And it is. I think it's a very different way to tell a story about bad guys without. And first of all, it was a drama, so we knew there wasn't going to be any comedic, comedy stuff. Like, some of the situations were goofy.
It wasn't a com-drum?
No, no, it was a drama. So
a drum-com?
Yeah, there wasn't any real lighthearted moments.
Yeah,
but at the same time, I do like. I normally like the people that are on the screen the most. I kind of hate these people. Oh, and it's gonna be like this the whole way. Like they keep reinforcing that you don't like them, as if to say, no, we're never letting you get attached to this character. Right. And I kind of like how that's a little different than normal.
I think that this movie is made for a very specific type of person, i.e. Michael.
Michael.
It's me. It's me.
You have to have a little bit of a psychopathic brain to enjoy it. Like, I think you have to at least like a little bit of torture to enjoy this movie. Just like mental torture. And I'm not one of those people, so I think that's why I didn't like this movie.
That's a valid reason. The pace and the deliberateness, what is that? Deliberateness?
Yeah.
That's a hard one to say.
Yeah, it's very hard.
Like deliberateness.
When he's eating, it's drawn out, and
it's like,
don't get me wrong, like that's something that even me in my head was like, he's been taking word, he's taking so much time for these mundane tasks, like speed it along. Like I'm doing that, and then my brain goes, no, they're doing it on purpose. Yeah. So well, this is on purpose, and I'll be like, oh, okay.
Like
and then
Slim gives a line at the beginning of the movie where he says, like, move like you're in fast forward. I was saying that in my head this entire movie. I'm like, move like you're in fucking fast forward.
It felt like they were in slow motion.
Yeah. But like, I mean, I probably wouldn't watch this again. I'm glad we got like a good conversation out of it, but like I couldn't sit through this one again.
Not at all.
I second.
You second that?
Yeah.
See,
sorry, Michael.
I've watched it before, and this time I was like looking for even more of the story that I could pull out myself.
But I can definitely see this, like, and I'm not like saying this as like a mean jab or anything. I could definitely see this as a movie you enjoy. It's something where they don't give you much, and they just let you sit and watch.
You got to
work
for it a little bit,
and like that's something
I enjoy
that you enjoy. Like I just like storytelling where they can like give me some stuff, but also let me infer some stuff. This just was like pure infer all of this, and you'll be okay.
Because this, I know both of you are gonna hate this, but for me, this goes on the list of like favorite movies.
Okay.
Yeah,
like,
because you're
fair.
a psychopath.
Yeah.
I enjoy more of the type of movie where like I don't care if there's killing. I like that if I at least care about something somewhere. Like I can enjoy slasher films because I can root for the killer, or I enjoy action films like John Wick because you're like, John Wick is so awesome. He can like just mow
like
people down,
people.
and he's all doing it for his dog. I like those kinds of action thriller movies more than this just purely brutal torture. It's just mental torture.
I think the key thing, and it's fine, is this is labeled a drama, not
but this isn't fucking Pride and Prejudice. Like this is
it's a drama. It's it's a terrible
it's like
story,
a torture drama
told in a drama.
Yeah.
So there's not going to be that blockbuster action because that's not realistic.
Yeah,
it's like
no,
just a story.
I get that.
But I think that sums it up. I know.
Yeah.
Danielle just wants to be like, I hate this. I'm done.
Yeah. So I mean,
I still made points.
So
I hated
valid
the movie.
points.
No, you did, and I do appreciate you actually having a conversation about the movie, even though you didn't like it. Instead of just being like, yeah, I hated that part.
I had to rant a little in the beginning to get it.
No,
all
and
out.
it's good. Well, like after that, I think we all needed to get
our
out.
emotions.
It's a strong opinion movie.
It made me feel strong.
If you're listening to this and you find yourself agreeing with Michael in a lot of these reviews, maybe check this out. This might be perfect for you. Stay strong with Michael.
Band together. Just don't.
The Michael minions. Let's go.
Just know. I think we can leave everyone with the life lesson of robbing criminals is even harder than just robbing regular people, and it probably isn't going to work out.
Probably not.
And sad story.
So I think we'll just leave you with a stay in school, kids, and that'll do it for
drugs.
That'll do it for all of us at Every Film in the Book. We'll catch you guys next week
when we don't drag you across concrete.
Maybe we'll have some lighter fare for you next time.
All right. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Yeah, we're definitely doing a comedy next week.